whole words with subwords. What the heck?
Continuous tense.
All right, boys. More Turkey reaction suggestion to me, for me, by me.
Back in
He's been waiting for a
2016,
bit,
I released
so
my first video
I
on
was
the
supposed
Turkish
to have
language.
done
Millions of people
this
have seen it,
a
but
bit.
unfortunately, it kinda sucked. I didn't explain very much about the language, and the production quality was a bit hokey. So it's time for a reboot. The Turkish language is the language of Turkey, or TÜRKÇE as it's now officially known. An incredibly important country at the crossroads of Europe and Western Asia. Because Turkey lies at the edge of the Middle East and borders Syria and Iraq, people who don't know much about the world often assume that the language of Turkey must be Arabic, but that's not the case. Turkish belongs to a completely
Ain't no way, people, bruh. Ain't no way, bruh. Even when I first heard of Turkey, because I remember the first time I heard of Turkey, I was 9 years old at Sunday school. And my Sunday school teacher was telling us interesting facts, like about the world, like weird, cool facts. And she looked at us and she was like, "Did you know there's a country that's named Turkey?" And we were all like, "Whoa, what?" You know, kids being kids, like, "Whoa, what the heck? Why is a country named after a freaking animal?" That's the first time I heard of Turkey. That's the first time. And whenever I heard about Turkey, what came through my mind wasn't really Arabic or whatever. Even when I learned more about Turkey, what came through my mind was, okay, what Turkish do they speak? Like, that's the first thing that came through my mind. Ain't no way people think Arabic. What?
separate language family, the Turkic language family. The Turkic language family has over 170 million native speakers, stretching all the way from Europe to Northeast Asia. Speakers of Turkic languages often consider all of them to be dialects of one language, but it's better to consider them closely related sister languages. When I talk about Turkish in this video, I'm talking about the Turkish language of Turkey and its standardized variety based on the dialect of Istanbul. There are around 90 million native speakers of Turkish, mainly in Turkey, but also in northern Cyprus and other neighboring areas. Some linguists have theorized that the Turkic languages are part of a larger language family called Altaic, which includes the Mongolic and Tungusic languages, and even Koreanic and Japonic languages by some definitions. This theoretic family is named after the Altai Mountains of Central Asia, but the existence of the Altaic language family is highly disputed.
Oh, so that's what you guys were telling me. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people in my comments, some people in my comments. I think I forgot what I exactly said, but it was when I heard that the Turkey alphabet. I think this is on my Turkey alphabet video. I talked about. I do remember they mentioned the Turkey alphabet is red, right to left, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's like Japanese or some shit like that. I don't know, but I mentioned Turkey and Japan. Turkey, like Turkey and Turkish in general, and Japanese. But I like the connection. I was like, is there like some type of connection between the two? And you guys said yes, there is actually, because of where the language originated before it like spread. There is a connection. I don't know. I gotta find that video again because I was like, yo, that is so freaking cool, bruh. That was like one of the coolest facts that I honestly learned from you guys.
It's more commonly thought that the similarities between the languages in this group come from contact rather than a common origin. But the common ancestor language of all the Turkic languages, Proto-Turkic, probably originated in or near Mongolia around the 6th century. The first known Turkic inscriptions, known as the Orkhon inscriptions, date back to this time.
If you're thinking about it,
Speakers migrated over a wide area stretching from Siberia, through China and Central Asia, through Western Asia, and up into the Balkans and the North Black Sea region. Oğuz Turkic, the ancestor language of today's Turkish language and the entire Oğuz branch, was brought to Anatolia by a Turkic empire known as the Seljuk Empire in the 11th century. Because the Seljuk Empire were admirers of Persian culture and were Muslims, their language was influenced by the Persian and Arabic languages. Turkic was spoken by everyday people, while Persian served as the administrative and literary language, and Arabic served as the language of religion. When the Ottoman Empire arose after the decline and breakup of the Seljuk Empire, a form of Turkish which was highly influenced by Persian and Arabic became the official language and literary language. This was Ottoman Turkish. Ottoman Turkish contained a very large number of Persian and Arabic loanwords. According to some estimates, it was over 80%, though that depends on how you calculate it and on the context. This was the language of the elite and wasn't the same as the everyday Turkish language used by regular people, which had less foreign influence, but still had some. During the time of Ottoman rule, French was the main language of international diplomacy, and there were close relations between the Ottomans and the French for much of the time. The influence of France led to the adoption of numerous French loanwords into Turkish.
I swear to Jesus Almighty, like every country has so much French loan words in it. Russian does, English, now Turkish, bruh. Oh my gosh.
When the Republic of Turkey was founded in 1923, its first president, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, initiated a language reform and got rid of Ottoman Turkish. He created a new standard language based on the everyday spoken dialect of Istanbul. An effort was made to replace Persian and Arabic words with Turkish equivalents, and the Arabic script was replaced with a modified Latin script, which would be more suitable for the Turkish language. Official language reforms are usually not completely successful, so there are still a lot of loanwords in modern Turkish, just not as many as there were in Ottoman Turkish. According to the Turkish Language Association, 12% of the words in Turkish are loanwords, though it could be higher depending on how you calculate them. We'll look at some examples of loanwords in Turkish in a minute, but first, a few words about a Turkish course I think you should check out. If you're excited to learn Turkish, I highly recommend you check out the course Turkish Uncovered by the company Story Learning. French, German, and other languages. I'll put a link to this page with all of their courses in the description below. And now back to the main video. Let's see some examples of foreign loanwords that are still widely used in modern Turkish. Some words from Arabic.
Kitap,
Meaning book. From Arabic, kitab.
kahve,
Meaning coffee. From Arabic, kahwa.
tarih,
Meaning history. From Arabic, tarih.
kalem,
Pen or pencil. From Arabic, qalem.
mektup,
Meaning letter. From Arabic, maktub.
hediye,
Meaning gift. From Arabic, hediye.
saat,
Meaning hour or a specific time. From Arabic, sa'a.
zaman,
Meaning time in a general sense. From Arabic, zaman. Persian loanwords.
pazar,
Meaning market. And also Sunday, because Sunday is the market day. From Persian,
That's. I was gonna say that sounds like bazaar.
bazar.
Yeah.
sebze,
Meaning vegetable. From Persian, sabzi.
meyve,
Meaning fruit. From Persian, mewa.
bahçe,
Meaning garden. From Persian, bahçe. Meaning a small garden.
renk,
Meaning color. From Persian, rang.
her,
Meaning each or every. From Persian, had.
herkes,
Meaning everyone. From Persian, herkes. Some French loanwords.
ofis,
Meaning office. From French, office.
televizyon,
Meaning television. From French, télévision.
müzik,
Meaning music. From French, musique.
otel,
Meaning hotel. From French, hôtel.
tren,
Meaning train. From French, train.
pantolon,
Meaning pants. From French, pantalon.
gazete,
Meaning newspaper. From French, gazette.
What? Gazete? Gazete? Gazete? What? And here I was thinking that gazete, it was a Russian word. What the heck? Same thing in Russian. Gazeta. What?
Meaning a periodical with government notices.
rezervasyon,
Meaning reservation. From French, réservation. Now let's look at some more features of Turkish. Turkish is an agglutinative language, meaning words are formed by adding suffixes to a root in a linear manner. Each suffix has a single grammatical or semantic function, and long strings of multiple suffixes can be added. For example, let's see the possessive suffixes that are attached to nouns. Let's start with the word meaning house.
ev, evim,
My house,
evimiz,
our house,
evin,
your house, with your in the singular.
eviniz,
Your house, with your in the plural or formal singular.
evi,
His, her, or its house.
evleri,
their house. But more suffixes can be added. Let's make the noun plural so it means houses.
ler,
Is the suffix that makes the noun plural.
evlerim,
My houses,
evlerimiz,
our houses,
evlerin,
your houses, with your in the singular,
evleriniz,
your houses, with your in the plural, or formal singular,
evleri,
his, her, or its houses,
evleri,
their houses. Notice that
evleri,
can mean his, her, or its houses, their house, or their houses.
ler,
Can indicate the plural of either the noun or the possessor, creating ambiguity.
That's interesting. That's interesting. You know, it reminds me of the I recently bought a book for my Russian study because I realized that Russian has so much prefixes and suffixes. I was sitting down trying to like make sense of the logic. Honestly, you see, beforehand, had I not studied Russian, I'm still studying Russian, but if I was just watching this like pure English perspective, that honestly wouldn't have made any sense to me. But ever since I've started like teaching myself Russian, like the logic of some of this stuff that a normal English speaker would is like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Especially like the whole prefix thing. Like I know English has prefixes and suffixes, but it's not really like that important that you really need to know it. And it's not really taught that much, frankly speaking, right? So that's very interesting, Turkish.
Standalone possessive pronouns can be used together with the possessive suffix to give emphasis or clarity, as in this case.
onun evleri,
His houses,
onların evi,
their house,
onların evleri,
their houses. Now let's go back to just the root word and one suffix.
ev,
House,
evler,
houses. Here's another example.
baş,
Head,
başlar,
some heads. Note the difference in the suffixes added to the two nouns. It's a result of something called vowel harmony. Vowel harmony affects suffixes that are added to the noun. So before we look more closely at Turkish agglutination, let's take a look at vowel harmony and some other related features. Vowel harmony means that the vowels in a Turkish word must be in harmony with each other. They must share certain features, specifically backness and roundness. And because words in Turkish are built by adding suffixes, the vowels of a suffix change depending on the vowels in the word it's being attached to. There are two sets of vowels depending on backness, front vowels and back vowels. Each word normally only has vowels from one of those categories. So when a suffix is added to a word, the vowel in the suffix must match the category of the last vowel that appears before the suffix. There are two types of vowel harmony, depending on the possible vowels that can appear in a particular suffix. E-type vowel harmony,
kedi,
meaning cat,
kediler,
meaning cats,
ağaç,
meaning tree,
ağaçlar,
trees. These two words have the same plural suffix, but the vowel is different, similar to the pair of words we saw before. The vowel a in the suffix lar is a back vowel in order to be in harmony with the back vowels in the root word, and the vowel e in the suffix lar is a front vowel to be in harmony with the front vowels in the root word.
That makes sense. Yeah, okay. That's actually cool. Turkish honestly seems very like nice and organized. It seems very perplexing, but honestly, although Turkish is ranked as a difficult language for English speakers, I honestly probably could teach myself Turkish the same way I'm doing myself Russian, especially if Turkish is like, it really depends though. Like Russian is so organized that it's possible to teach yourself Russian despite what people say about the grammar. I don't know about Turkish, but but Turkish seems very neatly like packed together that, you know, this is supposed to align with this, very strict rules. He did mention dialects. So that's dialects.
When the vowel in a particular suffix varies between E and A, front and back, it's called E-type vowel harmony. There's also I-type vowel harmony. In I-type vowel harmony, the vowel in the suffix has one of 4 variations. It harmonizes with the preceding vowel in both backness and in roundness. For example, the suffix meaning without, which has 4 forms.
sayı,
Number,
sayısız,
countless, literally without number.
bilgi,
Information,
bilgisiz,
uninformed or ignorant, literally without information.
su,
Water,
susuz,
thirsty or dehydrated, literally without water.
güç,
Power,
güçsüz,
powerless or weak, literally without power. And if you add additional suffixes, the vowel harmony continues.
bilgisizlik,
Ignorance or unawareness,
susuzluk,
thirstiness,
güçsüzlük,
powerlessness. This suffix here changes an adjective into an abstract noun. Similar to how the vowels of suffixes change depending on what comes before them, changes take place in some consonants too. This is called consonant mutation. The consonants that can mutate are called non-continuous consonants. The ones that can't mutate are called continuous consonants. Words can't end in these soft or voiced consonants, except in certain loanwords and in a few single-syllable words. At the end of a word, they must be their voiceless equivalents, p, ch, t, or k. But if they're followed by a vowel, they go back to being voiced. They become softened. We can see this in the different case forms of the word.
kitap,
It comes from the Arabic word kitab, but it changed to fit the phonology of Istanbul Turkish.
kitap, kitabı, kitabın, kitaba, kitapta,
I feel like I've heard this
kitaptan,
word before.
kitapla,
You can still hear the voiced b sound in the accusative, genitive, and dative case forms, in which it's followed by a vowel.
How many cases did I see there? Pause a minute. What is this? What is this? 1, 2. I know nominative, accusative, genitive, dative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Russian has 6 cases. Turkish has 7. What the hell are these cases for? On the book, in the book. Whoa. Oh wait, is this like prep? Okay. So what's this extra case for? I think this is like equivalent to prepositional case in Russian. But what is this? ABL. What is that case? Bruh.
You can still hear the voiced b sound in the accusative, genitive, and dative case forms, in which it's followed by a vowel. So this is the rule in the standard Turkish of Turkey. In various dialects though, and in closely related Turkic languages like Azerbaijani, words can end in a voiced consonant. Also, let's be clear that this is for non-continuous soft consonants, the ones that change. The continuous soft consonants can come at the end of a word. And also remember that the continuous hard consonants never mutate either. Consonant mutation also affects suffixes that begin with j, d, or g. When a word ends in a hard consonant, meaning a voiceless consonant, j becomes ch, d becomes t, and g becomes k. Here's an example.
evden,
From the house.
ağaçtan,
From the tree. And again, note that the vowel difference in the two suffixes is due to vowel harmony. A couple more examples.
Yunanca,
Greek, meaning the Greek language.
İngilizce,
English.
Rusça,
Russian. This is a suffix that creates language names out of the names of countries.
Hi.
The default word
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think Russian has same logic to when I had that book that I bought. Honestly though, how my legs hurt. Prefixes and suffixes They honestly make a lot of sense. Oh my gosh, bro, my leg. Hold on a second.
Order of Turkish is
Alright.
SOV, subject, object, verb.
Babaları
My legs
Türkçe
is hurting.
biliyor.
Sitting down too
This
much.
sentence means their dad knows Turkish, meaning the Turkish language. Notice the SOV word order, subject, object, verb,
Baba,
means father or dad, while
ları,
is the possessive suffix meaning their,
biliyor,
is the base form of the verb,
bilmek,
which means to know, with a present continuous suffix
iyor.
attached, in its third person singular form.
Wow.
We'll talk more about verbs in a minute.
Wow.
Türkçe,
Is the noun for the
What was going through my mind, I know Russian has a lot of Turkic influence. So this is like the grammatical logic of Turkish here. I know Russia has a bunch of Turkic influences in it. I don't know how much Turkic influence though. So I don't know if this whole like prefixes and suffixing that Russian also has is because of that, or if that's just like its own thing. It's not like this though. Well, no, it's not like this is not how Russian no. Russian uses Indo-European style to say like their dad. But this here combining like prefix, like all these suffixes instead of putting an article like there, Russian doesn't use that, but just the logic of prefixes and suffixes. I wonder if there's any Turkey influences from that, because a lot of this kind of feels eerie to what I'm studying in Russian right now, guys. But I know languages do prefixes and suffixes too. Like I said, English does it, but
Turkish language? The word for Turkish or Turk when not referring to the language is
Türk, Türk kahvesi,
Turkish coffee. Turk coffee it's. In translation, it seems like an adjective here, but grammatically it's actually a noun. This is a compound noun, meaning something like Turk it's coffee. In compound nouns, the second noun has a possessive suffix to show that it belongs to the first noun. If we use an actual adjective, this suffix isn't present.
sıcak kahve,
Hot coffee. Notice that the adjective comes before the noun, and in the compound noun, the modifying noun comes first. Also note that nouns in Turkish have no grammatical gender, so the adjective doesn't change form for gender agreement. What if we wanted to turn this into a question? It's quite simple.
babaları Türkçe biliyor mu?
Does their dad know Turkish? You just add the yes or no question marker
Mu,
at the end of the sentence. But this word has 4 forms depending on vowel harmony. It's also inflected for person, but notice that there's no suffix in the third person. Let's look more at verbs and how they're inflected. Of course, they're affected by agglutination, with suffixes that indicate tense, person, number, and so on. The infinitive form of a verb consists of the verb's base followed by
mak,
or,
mek,
depending on the last vowel of the base. Here are a couple of examples.
uyumak,
To sleep,
içmek,
to drink, but other suffixes can be attached as well. Negative verb forms have the suffix
ma,
or
me,
after the verb base.
uyumamak,
Not to sleep,
içmemek,
not to drink. Let's conjugate these verbs in the general present tense, known as the aorist tense. Take this sentence meaning, I sleep 7 hours a day.
günde 7 saat uyurum,
Word for word, it's day, locative case, 7, hour, I sleep. So we have the verb base,
uyu,
which is followed by the aorist suffix, r. This suffix has different forms when the verb base ends in a consonant, either an I-type vowel or an E-type vowel. Then after the aorist tense, a suffix showing person, a personal suffix, is added, with no suffix indicating third person.
her sabah çay içeriz,
We drink tea every morning. Word for word, it's every morning tea we drink. Again, you can see the verb base followed by the aorist suffix, followed by a personal suffix. Now let's look at the present.
what? Bruh. So it's like a whole word with subwords. Like whole words with subwords. What the
The
heck?
continuous tense.
But honestly, that's not like perplexing at all. It actually, it's like it kind of makes, no, not even kind of, like that actually makes sense, and that can actually make learning words when you learn a language like this a lot easier, because if they're like using different, not different, but like the same base but just different like suffixes to replace each and every one, eventually your brain will just catch on and it'll start seeing a pattern, and remembering words would become a lot easier. Compare that to like English, right? English doesn't really use prefixes or suffixes that much, or this heavily like Turkish, man. You just, a lot of words you just have to know it from whole. Like there's no prefix suffix. Like it's just boom, one big bland word. You just have to know it from whole. So, there's no like, hey, this follows this logic. It's like, no, you just have to know it. Like this means that, and that's it. Nothing to help you or anything, right? So when you have so many words like that, that can take a while to remember. However, when you have words like this, right, we see, that it's the same basis, same prefixes, same suffixes, but it's like a puzzle. It's like breaking apart and being put into a different place. Your brain starts catching on, like, wait a minute, I know this base. It means, like, I don't know, to move. But this is being put on a different suffix, and this word is relating to moving. So this word will be much more easier for me to remember compared to just seeing the whole word and it's like, damn, I just need to remember it. You know what I mean?
Diyorlar.
But yeah, that's
They're
actually
sleeping.
cool.
The present continuous suffix is
İyor.
which loses its initial vowel when the verb base ends in a vowel. But when the verb base ends in a consonant, the suffix begins with a vowel, with I-type vowel harmony. Then after the present continuous suffix, a personal suffix is added.
Transform trillions.
These personal suffixes can also be added to nouns and adjectives, functioning with the meaning of subject plus the copula, in particular in the present tense.
that makes sense.
For example,
Ben doktorum.
I'm a doctor, or just
Doktorum.
because the standalone subject pronoun can be dropped.
Ben zenginim.
I'm wealthy
Zengin.
means wealthy. When the sentence is negative, there's a negative copula,
Değil.
and the personal suffix is attached to the end of it.
Ben zengin değilim.
I'm not wealthy. There's also an auxiliary verb,
İmek.
which appears in past tense and conditional suffixes. It doesn't appear in that form,
İmek.
but as one of several derived forms which are conjugated.
Zengindim.
I was wealthy. Here you can see that it's not a standalone verb, but its past tense endings are suffixed to an adjective. The past tense of verbs is also formed with the same past tense suffixes.
Ankara'da yaşadım.
I lived in Ankara. Notice that the past tense suffix has 8 forms depending on consonant mutation and vowel
What
harmony.
the hell, man? Suffix has 8 forms. What the hell? Turkish really loves its prefixes and suffixes, bruh.
And it takes one of these personal suffixes.
Oh my gosh.
How about
that's-
the future tense?
Wow.
It's formed by adding the suffix
Ecek.
or
Açak.
to the verb base. Y is added as a buffer when the verb base ends in a vowel, and vowel harmony determines the vowels of the suffix.
Biz mağazaya gideceğiz.
We will go to the store
Mağazaya.
is the dative form of the word,
Mağaza.
meaning store,
Gideceğiz.
is the first person plural form of the verb,
Gitmek.
meaning to go, in the future tense. Notice that the non-continuous consonant t becomes d because the future suffix begins with a vowel. Now that we've had a look at some of the important features of Turkish, let's look at some basic phrases, and we'll probably encounter some new features along the way.
Merhaba.
Hello. This comes from Arabic, marhaba. There's also a more informal greeting,
Selam.
which comes from Arabic, salam.
Nasılsın?
How are you?
Nasıl?
Means how, and
Sın.
is the personal suffix meaning you in the singular.
İyiyim, teşekkürler.
I'm fine, thank you.
İyi.
Means good or fine, and im is the first person singular suffix, in other words, I,
Teşekkür.
is a noun meaning thank, or in colloquial English, a thank you. It comes from Arabic, tashakkur, the verbal noun of the verb teşekkür, meaning to be thankful to someone. Just like in English how we don't say thank but rather thanks with an S, in Turkish too the plural of the noun is used. The more informal way to say thanks is
Teşekkürler.
but there's also the more formal or serious expression
Teşekkür ederim. Ederim.
means I do. It's the first person singular present tense form of
Etmek.
literally this is like a thank you I do. So we could loosely translate it as I thank you or I give thanks. Another informal way to say thank you is
Sağ ol.
this literally means be alive or be healthy.
Sağ
Means alive or healthy, while
ol.
is the imperative form of the verb
Olmak.
which means to become or to be.
Adınız ne?
What's your name?
Ad.
Means name.
Inız.
Is the possessive suffix meaning your in the plural, but in this case the formal singular. And
Ne?
is a question word meaning what. To ask this more informally, you would ask,
Adın ne?
and in response,
Adım Hasan.
my name's Hassan. But of course, change Hassan to whatever your name is. Is the possessive suffix meaning my. Notice that in both cases, the vowels in the suffix are in harmony with the unrounded back vowel in the noun.
Bruh. That's a lot to
Tanıştığıma
remember,
memnun
bruh.
oldum.
Nice to meet you.
But honestly,
Tanış.
like I said before, it seems very organized. Like if it's organized and it kind of like follows a nice structure pattern, then over time, I can honestly catch on to this.
Is the root of the verb,
But this is
Tanışmak.
interesting.
which is used with the meaning of to meet, but literally means to know each other. Sh is actually a reciprocal suffix.
T.
Is a form of the suffix,
Dik.
which forms nouns from verbs, in this case, meeting or acquaintance. Here it has t rather than d due to consonant assimilation with the sh consonant that comes before it. And notice that the consonant mutates and becomes soft when it's followed by a vowel. Is a first-person singular possessive suffix, so we can think of this as my meeting you or my acquaintance with you. And a is a dative suffix meaning for, so the whole word can be translated as for my meeting you or for my acquaintance with you. It's a rather advanced word to break down if you just need to know how to say nice to meet you, so beginners might just want to memorize it.
Memnun.
Is an adjective meaning pleased or grateful. It comes from Arabic memnun.
Oldum.
Is the first person singular past tense form of the verb
Olmak.
meaning to become, which we saw a minute ago. So this phrase means I became pleased, but as a result of that change, I'm pleased right now. A simpler way to say nice to meet you is
Memnun oldum.
you can skip that first word that was a little complicated to break down.
Tren istasyonu nerede?
Where's the train station?
Tren.
Is the word for train that was borrowed from French.
İstasyonu.
Also comes from French station.
Nerede?
Is the question word meaning where. Let's go back to
Wow.
this compound noun for a minute. In a
Wow.
compound noun like this, at the end of the
I wonder how much Turkish words, like I mean, no, not Turkish words, but like how much French words Turkish uses commonly, because if Turkish uses all of these French words, then learning Turkish, or at least learning quote unquote Turkish vocabulary, would be a lot more simpler, easier for an English speaker. Because English has loads of French words. But the problem with Turkish, though, guys, for me to learn a language, I need to use said language. I was talking about this in my Arabic video, because I've actually considered like teaching myself Turkish, and I was like, okay, cool, if I learn Turkish, where would I use Turkish? In Turkey. And it's like, that's it? Turkey? Now, I'm not like saying Turkish bad or anything. I'm just saying like, what benefit will I get from it? Like with Russian, it's like I get to unlock a whole different side of the planet, right? That isn't like completely unstable. Unlike the Middle East, which is A lot of places are unstable in the Middle East. That's one of the main reasons why I just can't learn Arabic, because Arabic, all those freaking countries, like, where would I go if they weren't completely unstable? There's a few countries that aren't unstable, but like that's a few. I want most of them to not be unstable, right? And it's like, if they weren't like that, I would definitely be learning Arabic right now to go visit them, right? Because number one, the Quran, I would definitely like to study the Quran. And number two, a lot of these Arabic countries have cool histories and culture, right? Like,
second word, there's an I-type vowel. This is the third person singular possessive suffix, meaning its. So this is like the train its station, the station belonging to the train. But notice that there's no definite article in Turkish. In other words, there's no word meaning the. There isn't exactly an indefinite article either, but the word
Bir.
meaning one is used like an indefinite article. For example,
Orada bir tren istasyonu var.
there's a train station over there. There, one, train station, there is.
Var.
Is a word that shows existence, like there is or there are. It's also used to express that you have something.
So I'm writing an
I have money. Word for word, on me, money, there is. This is the locative case of the first person personal pronoun
Locative.
ben,
Para.
is the word for money.
locative.
In Turkish, there's no exact equivalent for the word have. I have money can be expressed in another way too.
Param var.
Word for word, money, my, there is. In this sentence, at the end of the noun is the first person singular possessive suffix. The difference between these two sentences is that this one
Param var.
means I have money in general, while this one
Bende para var.
means I have money on me right now. What if there's an explicit subject? The sentence means my mother has money.
Annemin parası var.
You could translate it as my mother's, her money, there is.
Anne.
Means mother, and is the first person singular possessive suffix,
In.
is the genitive case ending. So this whole word means my mother's.
Parası.
Has the third person singular possessive suffix
I.
with s before it as a buffer, because
Para.
ends in a vowel. So in this sentence, there's both a genitive suffix on the word for mother and a possessive suffix on the possessed noun. You could translate it as my mother's, her money, there is. The negative version of
Var.
is
Yok. Annemin parası yok.
my mother doesn't have money. What do you think of Turkish after seeing all of the examples in this video? My
What do I
impression-
think? I mean, it's cool. I like how it's constructed. It's cool. It seems perplexing, but it makes sense. A lot of the logic makes sense. So that's interesting. That's my honest opinion. Honestly, though, I could see why they try to make Turkish like a UN language. Honestly, Turkish is pretty. On the surface, it seems complex, but to be honest, I feel like with more exposure to Turkish, it's pretty simple. That's just my surface level take on it, guys. I'm just saying. But anyways, man, if you made it all the way here to the end of this video, you like my reactions, you like what I have to say, you have videos like this that you would definitely like to see my reaction to, you would like to hear what I have to say, man, comment it in the comments below. Eventually, I will get to it. I will get to that reaction, man. Check out my other Turkey reactions, my Turkish language reaction, my Turkic languages reaction, or my Turkic alphabet reaction videos. It should be on the end screen here. Yeah, man. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.